On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, basketball is back. We had NBA opening night on NBC, talked about that, talked about a terrible weekend for myself and Jack, good weekend for Matt in terms of football, recap our Auburn trip, and of course, we have our NFL Week 8 confidence picks. It's all coming up next. See you guys soon.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome into episode 215 of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today is October 22nd, 2025. And we had to take the weekend off because there was no football. Our teams didn't lose in horrendous fashion. My two teams didn't lose in horrendous fashion. Jack, there was nothing that happened, right?
Brian, this is one of the worst weekends of football I've ever had to watch. Quite simply put. It started Saturday when you and I took a trip down to Auburn, Alabama, down to the loveliest village on the plains, and watched our team lose their fourth straight game, their fourth straight SEC game. And honestly, Brian, was it competitive? It was at points. It was down the wire. We took our shirts off trying to rally the boys, but it didn't end up working, and it was just pitiful. It really
Jackson
was.
Arnold and that Auburn offense got the ball back up by 7 with 8:16 left in the game. He ran 17 offensive plays for 42 yards, no points. Lost. Also, ESPN says the game went to triple OT. I swear it only went to 2.
No, that was definitely only 2 overtimes.
Okay, I thought I was just drunkenly misremembering, but I'm pretty sure it was only 2.
I mean, I'm definitely drunk misremembering the game too. I quite honestly kind of forgot that we even went to an OT until you just brought it up. But
you were throwing up the 5s with me in the section?
Dude, you want to know what the problem is we didn't look competitive the entire game as far as Jackson Arnold goes. We need a quarterback. I feel like I'm Woody Johnson right now calling out Justin Fields. We need a quarterback who can complete a pass. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And you want to talk about Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix and yada, yada. We haven't had a good quarterback since Cameron Newton.
Well, they went to a natty with Nick Marshall. I'd take that at this point. It was
on
so
a team
bad.
That ran for 450 yards a game, himself included. He couldn't throw the ball that well either. Name me one receiver from that team.
Oh, the Sammy Coates.
Sammy Coates. Other than Sammy Coates.
I couldn't.
Terrible.
It's a lot to unpack there.
Good.
I don't even want to talk about it.
The light show was cool. The fourth quarter light show.
That's your biggest takeaway?
The swag surf.
The weekend, fun. The swag surf and the light show?
Matt, if we're being honest, that's why we bought the tickets.
Oh, wow. To see the light show.
That's why we bought the tickets. Because we wanted to see the light show at night. Plenty of day games there, but never a night game. And I mean, gosh.
They have a reverse Wrigley Field problem down there on the plains?
They have a lot of problems down there on the plains.
Yeah, we had some problems down on the plains.
Tailgate was fun, though. We always win the tailgate.
Shout out Mr. Bruce.
Shout out to Bruce's.
Barbecue, all the good stuff.
You guys haven't been to every single SEC school, but who has the best tailgate?
I mean, we do, first and
foremost. You've seen pictures.
First and foremost, it's always
LSU looks pretty sick as an outsider.
The place smells like corn dogs, though.
LSU's good. South Carolina's a whole lot of fun, too.
Vanderbilt strikes me as maybe not the best.
Their tailgate's on Broadway. They don't really have a school to tailgate at.
Well, that's why it's not the best.
Yeah, it's about the setting. Brian and I would like to get right on campus.
Athens is fun if you don't get hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah. They're at the fraternity houses.
Higher chance in Athens.
I'll tell you what's not good. Fucking Bama losers.
I honestly have never seen that one. I could see why you guys wouldn't like it to begin with. But I'd be without forecasting or projecting too much into what we're going to get into next. I guess Jack's was easier because it was in and out. He had the heartbreak Saturday night And then Sunday night, he probably slept through the disaster in London. Brian had to wait till 4 o'clock the next day.
Yeah, see, I was thinking about this. Like, I don't know if, and please comment below whose loss you think was worse, but like Jack had to wake up hungover. He was up. I got up at halftime, and I'm like, oh, Devonta Adams got me 2 touchdowns. All right, my day started off nice. Then I asked Jack the score, like, unironically, not trying to make fun of him, and he just looks at me with a death stare, and I'm like, oh, this can't be good.
I told you to screw off and go back upstairs. I remember it vividly. I thought you were doing it to mock me for sure. Yeah, Matt, I was up bright and early after being heartbroken by Auburn football yet again. Dude, we got to stop going to SEC games. We're just not going to win one when we go. But
that's what we did, and we lost last year.
Fuck Cal. I'm cursing way too much.
NFL draft pick, Mendoza.
Anyway, dude, I got up. I was up there bright and early. We were in Central Time, so 8:30 a.m. start. Dude, 35-7. Cam Little can't make a kick.
I told you, Cam Little's on fraud watch. But the one good thing that's going to come out of this, Jack, I'm finally going to stop calling London a home game for the Jaguars. They're now 7-7 across the pond and just 4-6 at Wembley. So not really home field advantage.
Yeah, no. Well, we haven't been a good team in some years and have played quite a few games over the past few years over there. But, I mean, if it's my time to talk about the Jags, dude, y'all all saw the game. 35-7. Defense couldn't get a stop. They also were getting screwed early and often, a little baseball term there, early and often by the refs. I don't know if you guys watch. Matt, I know, but look,
dude,
Will,
it seems like
do me a favor, Will. Will, do me a favor. Do me a favor, Will. Bring up the clip of the opening drive for the Rams. They're in the red zone. 3rd and goal, and Stafford throws a ball over the middle, gets tipped by our defensive lineman, so our safety takes out the receiver so he can't catch the ball, which is perfectly legal. Happens all the time, week in and week out. 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct, first down, gave him a fresh set of downs at the half-yard line. They punch it in, 7-0. I mean, when you start the game like that, what do you expect? How do you expect the team to respond? They felt fucked from the get-go, and that's how it was. And our coach talked about it after the game. He said, look, that play with Dewey to open up, that unnecessary roughness, I don't know how to coach that. I don't know how to coach that any better. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. So what do you want from me, Matt? I will talk about the refs when it needs to happen. But look, this team also had its flaws. Trevor Lawrence holding on to the ball for too long. Brian Thomas Jr. dropping another pass. Just stuff that can't happen. Cam Little missing kicks. I tweeted after the game that I wanted him cut. Coach came out. He said no. We're having faith in Cam. The Jags get a bye this week. Hopefully Cam Little can step away, reset, come back, and just be better. And the last note I want to say on this is, first of all, shout out Stafford. He's still a legend, and why he was, in my top 5, top 6 quarterbacks on my NFL list this year. 5-touchdown game. Hate that it came against my team. But last thing I want to say, Coach Cohen also said that he expects Travis Hunter to be playing a lot more football coming out of the bye, both offense and defense. You saw his 8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Felt very mute in this game, losing 35-7. But great game offensively, and he's got the chops on defense. He was all over Devonta Adams on the plays that he was covering him, not the ones that the touchdowns happened on. But I got a lot of optimism. I'm hoping the boys can get it right. Now I'll take your questions.
Yeah, I'd also like it to be known. I said this drunkenly on Saturday night, but it turned out to be true. I told you I was going to bet the Travis Hunter over because Puka Nacua is not playing, so he's going to play a lot of offense, and that worked out. So I'll take that. But, dude, they got killed. 35 points. The Rams only had 271 yards on offense. It's the most efficient outing in London since the Beatles wrote Abbey Road. They got pummeled.
Yeah. I don't think I can agree a bad call to start the game doesn't set the right tone, especially when you're playing in London, which, Trevor Lawrence should be pretty used to it over there. But it can set the wrong tone. But I don't think they were ready to play, which Cohen does have an impact on. Maybe you put a little bit on the quarterback as well there, but they just did not seem they just didn't seem ready to go. And regardless of, refs or not, I think, maybe a call goes their way, doesn't go their way, that the Rams were always, maybe it's a little bit closer. I think the Rams always were winning that game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I'm just saying when a game opens up like that, it's very deflating. But no, you're right. There were a lot of things, as I said, the Jags did not do right in this game. A lot of things that the Rams did do right. And Brian, to your point of the efficiency on offense, they went up 14-0 on their first two drives. The Rams did, and the Jags were clawing back. I mean, it was 21-0 in the blink of an eye. It might have even been their first three drives, maybe four. But it was 21-0 real quick. And by the half, we were just trying to get a Cam Little field goal, put 3 points up on the board, and couldn't. So, yeah, we did not have a good game offensively. And quite honestly, in the second half, the defense did play really well. I know the final score doesn't reflect that, but the defense did play really well, stopping them a lot until the very end of the game when the offense just couldn't stay on the field long enough and the defense was gassed.
You said Parker Washington had a pretty good game too, right?
I mean, he makes plays, yeah. Oh, I didn't even bring up that penalty. Parker Washington housed a punt return, and there was a block in the back. And the announcers were trying to find the block in the back. Rich Eisen was like, I don't see it. I'm trying to find the player. This is the one they said. It clearly wasn't on him. I mean, it couldn't have been, right? So,
there's
and
one thing.
That was also very early on in the game in the first half. So, again, plays like that, just very deflating for a team.
There's one thing British people hate. It's a guy named Washington.
Definitely.
I hate to see him coming.
It's special teams, man. It's penalty central. I agree. Maybe there wasn't a penalty there, but you can't get up in arms on the penalties. It's what the refs like to call. It's the guys who are going to be cut tomorrow, and that's what they do, man. They throw penalties on the special teams guys.
I'm surprised you're more mad about the penalties in the Jaguars game than the penalties in the Auburn game.
Brian, I lost my voice to the penalties in the Auburn game, okay? So don't sit here and act like I don't care. I do care. I'm also just defeated when it comes to Auburn football.
That's fair. I also don't have a voice if it's coming through to the listeners. I yelled at the refs to get off their knees like 5 times.
There was a lot of high hopes for Auburn coming into the year with you guys, and the start helped accelerate that even further until I don't know. It's been
the problem's always been the problem, though. Even from that opening game when we saw Jackson Arnold run for, what was it, like 100 yards and a touchdown or 3 touchdowns, whatever it was.
He's like the first quarterback since Cam Newton to have 100 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome, but the passing was not there, and that was a concern. I'm pretty sure I highlighted after that first game. We need to be able to throw the football and utilize the receivers we have. Can't do it. I mean, it was the same problem last year, same problem the year before. I'm not going to harp on it again, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think it's slowly revealing. Hugh Freeze needs to go sooner rather than later. As an outsider looking in, I don't know how much more of a leash that guy needs to turn the program around.
Yeah, I don't know why he's still employed.
I don't understand either, but yeah, Auburn 4-loss team, under 500 through 8 or whatever weeks of the season we are in. There's always next year. I don't know, but there's optimism
coaching
next year. But last thing on the Jaguars, and I think I talked this a couple weeks ago. Finally, you get Travis Hunter involved in the game. Everybody told me, and you guys also, he's really good on defense and he's playing both sides and this and that. Hey, newsflash to everybody. It's 2025. Offense wins championships, not defense. This guy absolutely needs to be the focal point of the passing game, especially with Brian Thomas, the struggles he's having this year. You finally open up the playbook, get him involved on offense. And, 8 catches, making ridiculous catches, by the way, 100 yards and a TD. Imagine if they did that from day one. I get he's a rookie, but the whole both sides, and he's really good on defense. Offense wins the championships in 2025. And I think that was a little bit of a mismanagement by Cohen, the 30-year-old running the show up in the front office, whoever it was. They're seeing too late to get Travis Hunter involved.
You know what? I think that's a fair take. I really do. I will play devil's advocate here and say he's a rookie trying to learn both offense and defense. It's coming along slower than a lot of people may have expected, but there is no denying his talent on both sides of the ball. So I want him to be playing as much offense and as much defense as he can handle. And also it is going to depend on what we need at that time in that game. If Puka and Devontae were both playing, we see him more on defense than we did in this game and not have the huge offensive role. But as you can clearly tell, we needed the offensive help. So maybe that's the plan going forward. Like I said, I was listening to Cohen in his actually, I don't know if it was the post-game presser or if it was a video he put out the other day with the Jaguars media, just some interviews asking about the bye week. But he was saying coming out of the bye, he expects Travis Hunter to be playing a lot more football. And I'm assuming that means on both sides of the ball.
Puka Nacua being out might have saved the Jaguars season. Because they realize what they have in Travis Hunter on offense.
All right. I mean, they know what they have. They know what they have.
They did it all year. They had no idea.
They were winning football games, though.
Because we were running the ball. We haven't been running the ball.
What's the Jags' record right now?
4-3.
They were 4-2. I mean, I think
we were 4-1.
There's been a little bit of a slide since the Chiefs game.
We were 4-1. We beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but I'm saying before Travis Hunter kind of broke out in this last game. But yeah, I guess they were.
This guy was getting 2 catches on 4 targets.
Yeah, I mean, he was making plays, but
I think the main thing this could do is it could save Trevor Lawrence.
I think it was an eye opener that this is what you had, and you're worried about the guy playing defense when offense wins championships in this modern day of NFL football. That's all. I digress. No more from me on that.
Our secondary is pretty brutal, so we need him on defense.
They traded for a quarter. They got the guy from the Browns, Newsome. How's he doing?
They traded had a pick 6 for the Browns on Sunday.
Yeah, Tyson Campbell. Well, look, I saw that play. It was luck. The ball got tipped to him. Let's not act like Tyson Campbell made some sick play, lurk it. Come on.
All you got to do is I get rid of the Jaguars playoff win because of Brandon Staley. That was against Tua. It doesn't count.
It's not pick
6.
That's all I got on that.
Whatever. I don't even know where you're going right now.
A pick 6 against Tua does not count in 2025. Anyone can get a pick 6 off of Tua. His brain doesn't work.
And apparently he can't see his receivers. That's a different story.
Sight brain. He needs to retire. Or put on a guardian cap. Or both.
Probably both.
With a guardian cap while retiring, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want him walking into any walls or anything like that. You got to keep protected.
Yeah, speaking of people that like to walk in the walls, Cam Scatabo and the Giants look great, and then they didn't. I'm still trying to figure out what happened.
This was we saw this, what was it, 2 weeks ago when the Broncos played in Philly and the Eagles were up 17-0 or whatever impossible to lose lead they had until they ultimately went and lost it and lost the football game. A little bit more crazy here, I think.
33 fourth quarter points.
Yeah.
Second time it's ever happened.
Yeah. So that in itself. But, I mean, the Broncos, for whatever reason, Bo Nix has some magic up his sleeve in the fourth quarter, not even the second half. specifically the fourth quarter, and we saw it on display Sunday. There was obviously some self-inflicted wounds. Giants kicker missing extra points. Defense just kind of falling apart, letting receivers kind of be wide open, playing that prevent defense, which we all know prevents you from winning the game. And
especially when you have one of the best D lines in football.
Exactly. You get no pass rush. So you kind of just saw the Giants say, hey, they tried too hard not to lose the game, which ultimately resulted in them losing the game. Nothing you can do about the guy missing extra points, though. I don't care how much I hate the Giants. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do.
In games like this, a collapse like that, you always look at coaching. Always. Like, how is it possible that you're able to do this? I mean, that's what happened in the Atlanta Super Bowl when they dropped that 28-3 lead. I mean, everyone was flaming Shanahan. Like, dude, you cannot go this conservative. It's what happened to the Jags against the Patriots in the AFC Championship in 2017. I mean, this stuff happens. You can't go that conservative. We see it all the time. You got to keep playing the game you're playing. The game you were playing got you out to that lead.
Right.
Why stop now?
Yeah. So, well, I had a couple takeaways from this. After the original anger and kind of just dumbfoundness I was feeling after they blew this lead, it kind of hit me here. Like, this is exactly the kind of game the Giants need to play for the rest of the season. And I know a lot of Giants fans aren't going to agree with that, especially because Matt likes to say they get delusional and they thought this was a playoff team, which it's not. But the best case scenario for the New York Giants for the rest of this year, Jackson Dart balls out, Cam Scatteraboo balls out, your defense, Brian Burns leads the league in sacks, and then you lose the game. And you end up with a great pick. You're not ready yet. They still need help in the secondary. They still need another lineman. So look great and lose. And if you need your kicker to miss 1 million extra points to do that, sure. But it sucks to lose. It sucked that day, especially after Auburn lost. But looking back on it, like, okay, they looked great and they lost. And better pick for us at the end.
I give you a lot of credit for finding some kind of silver lining from that loss. I would challenge Jack to do that more in his Jaguar losses. But I agree. I think it's an interesting angle. Look great and lose. I don't know how much time that buys Brian Dable. Maybe that's a good thing. That it's not buying him more time. I don't know. But they're clearly not ready to win. They'll pull off the sneaky upset here and there, beat the Eagles like they did, which another big game at 1:00 at the Link. Eagles wearing the Kelly green. So we'll see what kind of revenge they can get on the New York Football Giants this Sunday. But no, I mean, what you said, Brian, that's the best way as a grounded, not crazy delusional Giant fan can be. I know everybody wanted them to win that game and everybody wants them to win out and go to the playoffs, but you're right. Jackson Dart's not ready to win. The defense isn't ready to win.
It's a transition year, right?
It is.
In sorts, I think it's the first of many transition years they're going to need. But, I mean, dude, the only receiver he completed the pass to was Wan'Dale Robinson. And that's not because Jackson Dart isn't good. That's because the next best receiver is Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, they're not ready to be a team that can compete for a Super Bowl. And that's okay. But if you're a Giants fan, you should be rooting for them to win a game that you go to this year and to lose every other game. And that's what I'm going to do.
Brian, who's that receiver they took in the first round a year or two ago?
Neighbors?
Yeah, that's
Jalen
the only
Hyatt?
Jalen Hyatt they took in the third.
Oh, maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Hyatt?
Yeah, he stinks.
He's just a bum.
He can run fast.
That's about it.
That's about it.
I
He
saw your
hasn't
man.
played much on game day, but I can't imagine he's that good if he can't beat out Bo Collins and Lil Jordan Humphrey for snaps on game day.
I saw Theo Johnson had another nice game.
Yeah, that was aided by a Wan'Dale drop that turned into a Theo Johnson touchdown after the deflection. But he might be breaking out here.
Define breakout, but I agree.
605. It's a nice season.
It's a nice season. Breakout? for a tight end, maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Don't know to get into it, but
The bar is low.
the bar is definitely low, and
Clearly.
it's so weird right now for the Giants because, and again, I know you laid out your plan or how you should look at it and how you hope, I guess, it goes. But, you started out little expectations. Russell Wilson sucks. Team's still a dumpster fire, whatever. They bring in Jackson Dart, find the fire, get a couple nice wins, upset the Eagles. Now it's like, okay, we got a shot to make a run at something here. You have this crazy game, Giants started checking it off as a win, 19-0 going into the fourth quarter. And now you've reversed all the way back to dude, that is an emotional roller coaster that I can't remember going from we suck, we're making the playoffs, to we suck in that many quick weeks. And maybe they're not saying we suck because they did look
I do
good
it
on
every year
Sunday.
with the New York Mets, man.
I guess. But, this is like that quickly to go from dumpster fire, holy shit, possible playoffs, really liking the playoffs, into we suck again. I just the emotional roller coaster for a franchise that has had it pretty bad the last decade. It's purgatory.
I mean, if they win this game, they're 3-1 with Jackson Dart as the starter. I
know.
I just said they're not ready yet, but that's a pretty good team.
That's a solid team. I will agree. And knocking off the defending champs at home, adding to that 3-1 resume, I agree. A lot of people would be singing playoffs.
Yeah, I would probably be singing playoffs, especially with the Commanders probably out of it now, and
Yeah, I mean,
Packers
they
down
are.
to earth. Like the
By the
NFC
way-
kinda stinks.
By the way, by the way, did I not say sophomore slump? And I don't care that he's injured. I don't care that. No, that's a part of it. That is a part of it. That is a part of it. That is a part of it.
Injured. He's been
You don't
Oh,
want the sophomore slump.
Maddie.
injured.
Healthy.
No, that's not how that
Stay
works.
healthy. That is exactly how it works. You stay healthy and you don't have a sophomore slump. You got hurt.
No.
Why? Because you're having a sophomore slump.
No.
was
He's
coming
been good when he's
and you-
played.
Sophomore,
The name of the game is
Guess what?
health.
and he can't play.
The name of the game for them right now is health. With Terry McLaurin, literally hasn't played more than 20 snaps this season. He's his number one. It's a big
good.
issue. And then on top of that, he's got his own injury to worry about. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's going to, come back and be a great quarterback this season, but to give him a sophomore slump tag after being hurt for most of it, I don't think that's very fair.
Life's unfair.
I'll admit to you, I was wrong about the hype for MVP and stuff because I didn't see the injuries coming.
Yeah, you were.
But I don't think it's fair to call it a slump when he's been hurt and his receivers have been hurt essentially all year. He was throwing to Luke McCaffrey and Zach Ertz as his top two options on Sunday.
Austin Eckler, the receiving back, popped that Achilles, I think it was. So
Debo hasn't practiced. It's
you
been a
can
scene
call
down
it-
there.
You can
That
call
team
it
is a
whatever
mess.
you want. You can call it whatever you want. When's Dan Quinn get fired?
he won't get fired.
He's got a long leash.
That's too far. But a team that has found their way back to the promised land, you would think, the Philadelphia Eagles. Only team to win out of us three on Sunday across NFL Week 7. And what a game it was. Jalen Hurts showing off the arm talent in the dome. It was an absolute hell of a game by the quarterback who can't throw. 19 of 23, 326 yards, and 3 TDs. Got 9 receptions to Devonta Smith, only 4 to A.J. Brown, but well over 100 yards, 121. 2 TDs, Smitty with over $180 and a TD as well. And, it's just Jalen Hurts continues to silence the haters. Sure, there's a question mark about, Saquon Barkley, the offensive line, getting things sorted out there. But I will take whatever you want to try and pick apart about Jalen Hurts before we get into the rest.
I think
Nah,
we
man.
both admitted we like Jalen Hurts. We
Yeah,
accept him
I
as
put
the
him-
top 5 quarterback.
I put him
There's
at
a
number
lot of
5.
people that don't.
There's a lot of people that don't.
And that's who I'm talking to.
I mean, look, some of those people might have Matt Stafford over Jalen Hurts. I've got them 5 and 6. They're right there. They're right there.
And the power rankings of teams move. Teams go from 2 to 4 to 3 to 6 to 7 all over. So, I agree. Week to week, the standings can change. And I think or the rankings can change for the quarterbacks. And I think I said that on X, Jack, over your tweet of the quarterback rankings. I said 1, 2, and 3 is interchangeable week to week.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. And I think you could probably nitpick guys down to team 32 if you really wanted to look at it deeply. But I'm over the top 5. It's nobody can convince me otherwise. And I know you guys have bought into that a little sooner than some of the other people, but he's top 5 for me all day. There's no questions asked. But there's still a narrative out there that the guy can't throw the football, that the guy makes bad decisions, and the guy just doesn't know how. He's a running back, and another game for him to go out 19 to 23, 326 yards, and 3 touchdowns through the air, Brian. Through the air. That's called shutting up the haters. Perfect passer rating, by the way. That's how you shut up the haters who do still think you can't throw the ball, who do still think you're just a game manager that hands it off to Saquon Barkley, who only had 40 or whatever little rushing yards he had in this game with an offensive line that is a little bit banged up and struggling. Cam Jurgens taking a step back this year. Some guy named Toth, who I don't even know his first name, but who looks horrendous. And they're trying to plug and play him. Jurgens might even be hurt. I don't know. The offensive line's a little bit of a mess. And Jalen Hurts to go in on the road in Minnesota to play Carson Wentz, the drama that's involved there, goes out and puts on a masterclass through the air. He says, don't worry, defense. I understand you're banged up. I understand we don't have a pass rush. Our veteran Zadarius Smith, who was supposed to come in and help us out, quit on the team. I got you guys. I got you. Don't worry. We'll silence the haters. We'll silence the narratives. Super Bowl, we're back on track. That was Jalen Hurts on Sunday. Nobody else. Kevin Patullo didn't bail him out. Sirianni didn't help him out. The offensive line didn't help him out. The receivers, I guess, they got open. But Jalen Hurts said, I'm saving the season right here. We're not going to keep free falling. We're not going to let them keep talking down on us and let them forget who we were less than 9 months ago down in New Orleans. That was Jalen Hurts on Sunday. Perfect passer.
Yeah, well, I want to add that Devonta Smith, he's that dude.
A dog. I agree. Absolute dog. When you get 183 yards and A.J. Brown 121 through the air, I mean, it makes the quarterback's job easy for sure. But there's a lot of other loaded receiver rooms in the NFL. And I think you can't say that, well, Hurts just – the offensive line is seriously banged up and messed up right now. And you can't say, well, it's the best this, the best that. And Saquon Barkley, for what it's worth, has been pretty non-existent. Sure, you got a game plan for him, but he is not what we saw last year. And we did think we were going to see a step back. I didn't think it would be this much.
He was too busy working on the documentary. And
that's fine. Everybody, it's the Madden curse. It's this, the documentary, whatever you want to call it. But Jalen Hurts, there's one thing that's consistent, and it's Jalen Hurts keeping this team on track as the leader of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'd be speechless too after that. But
it's hard to argue with anything you said. I mean, that's all true. Especially he outduels the guy that he replaced in Philly. It was still a question mark. They're like, why'd they draft Jalen Hurts? We have Carson Wentz.
Oh. I was like, what? There's no question mark for me. Jalen Hurts is better than Carson Wentz. But
at the time, everyone was like, why are we drafting Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, coming like you're like, whoa, this guy just brought us to a Super Bowl. Well, got hurt. Foles brought them. Wentz brought him to water. Foles was able to drink it. But that's all I have. There's nothing else crazy to go into for that game other than I told this guy to stay home on his couch. Brandon Graham. They're calling on the veteran 37-year-old to come back. And everybody's up and, oh, that's so sick. He's coming back. And, like, is it cool? I guess. But, like, dude, he looked and again, he's going to look out of shape on day one. He did not look good out there in the practice field today in the couple videos I saw. He looks fat.
I mean, he retired.
I'm well aware, but this is why I was saying people are going to put the blinders on and just look at the name and not take into account anything of what transpired, the entire offseason. This guy wasn't working out. This guy wasn't in training camp. Vic Fangio said it best at the press conference the other night or yesterday night, whenever it was. There's a difference between, being in like workout shape and then being in NFL game shape. And that people think, okay, well, the guy can just work out for a week and he'll be ready to go. Like, there's a reason they have a training camp that's almost 6 weeks long to get them to ramp up to game shape speed. So, I don't know how long it's going to take for him to be ready to go. And I think the impact he's going to have is going to be minimal. I think for this comeback to be a success, one, they've got to win the Super Bowl. And two, he's got to make multiple big plays in big games along the way, meaning like, a big sack in a playoff game, a big sack to clinch the division. But if it's just like, hey, he's coming in and not really contribute, and they're going to disguise it as, well, he's in the locker room and these young guys. What young guys?
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Nolan Smith is out.
He's going to play like 10 snaps a game on
It's
third
so
and longs.
But I think the people are putting the blinders on and thinking he's going to come back and be this all-world.
And the pass rush is fixed.
Right, the pass rush. And it's like it's not. The pass rush is not fixed. You need to go out and try and make a move for Crosby. Try and make a move for Hendrickson. One of these guys who are being talked about heavily in the rumors.
Yeah, I guess it is still an upgrade, though, to replace a guy that was ready to retire with a guy that's
because you
coming
had
out of
nothing
retirement.
and now you have something. That's
Yeah.
why it's an upgrade.
It's better
not a
than it
good
was.
upgrade. If Za'Darius Smith was still here and they added him, I think, okay, that's bad. But, like, it doesn't move the needle for me, and I just really hope, which he hasn't been in the past, I really hope Howie Roseman isn't complacent with, hey, we just kind of plugged him in and we're back on track. I think there's a move that needs to be made to move the needle on the edge rush.
What if he gets traded?
Who?
Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham.
There's got to be a no trade.
Trade him for a 7th-round pick, and then he just retires again. Comes out 2 weeks later.
There's got to be a no trade clause in that.
Be an infinite draft pick glitch.
Would be funny. Would be the infinite draft pick glitch. But that's all I got on the Eagles. Big game this Sunday. Kelly Green's 1 o'clock. Get the revenge on the Giants. Put the nail in their season. Nail in the coffin in their season. And continue the warpath to the Super Bowl.
Brian, the Bengals are not back.
Yeah, so I more put this on because I am annoyed at the Commanders because they're going to ruin my future bet.
The Bengals are back to being fun.
I have the Bengals.
Yes,
the Bengals
sir.
could win the North. I keep on
Stop
saying that.
it.
The Steelers aren't that good. They're probably going to lose to the Packers this week.
They
and
just
then
knocked them off.
The Bengals get the Jets. Like, the Bengals could be in first place after this week.
I have more faith in the Ravens coming all the way back than I do the Bengals.
I think that's fair, but it's also the Ravens have a big hole to dig out of.
Sure.
I think like one off game from Lamar, one hamstring tweak, and then they're not going to be able to outscore with that putrid defense.
That is also true.
It's an interesting division with what unfolded last Thursday. Joe Flacco, even though they lost in Green Bay his first game, he looked really good. Through 2 games, you would think this guy would have 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. The touchdowns are there, but he hasn't thrown a pick. I knock on wood. And that's a huge part of what Joe Flacco, the Bengals' success meter for me is. Is Joe Flacco going to protect the football, or is he just going to be the fun quarterback that throws 300 yards, 3 TDs, but adds 3 interceptions, which is why they end up losing games?
It's amazing to me. All he had to do was what Jake Browning did and just throw the ball to Jamar Chase. And he's probably not going to let you intercept the pass because he's going to get up there and play defense if he has to.
Joe Flacco is just miles ahead of Jake Browning as far as talent and pedigree and all that kind of experience. There's no comparison there. So, yeah, he's a smart, savvy vet that knows, oh, hey, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, these guys are pretty freaking good. I'm just going to keep peppering them the football. And, yeah, it's been working.
A lot of these throws, it's just like he gets it, wastes a half second, and then lobs a pass up to Chase or Higgins, and it works.
Yeah.
Like Browning should be able to do that, but he can't.
Brian, you say Darnold throws a nice ball, but they were loving the ball that Joe Flacco throws on the broadcast Thursday night. They were loving it.
And
it is a nice ball.
I think it was Yoshi Voss dropped a slant, and Flacco whipped it in there. It's like, yeah, it's a great ball. You got to catch that. Kirk went on for like a minute and a half.
Dude, they were loving what he was able to do, and I think that, shows what Browning couldn't do. It was like this breath of fresh air, like, holy shit, a quarterback that can throw the ball to his elite playmakers. So, yeah, the Bengals will be fun. I'm not going to get on to win the division. Do I think it's a chance? Yes. What do you hide Joe Burrow behind the curtain when he's ready to come back if Joe Flacco does propel this team to the top of the division?
No. You got to play Burrow.
Yeah, they might slow play his return and let him recover for a little bit longer. But when Burrow's ready to go, they're starting Joe Burrow.
This isn't Carson Wentz and J.J. McCarthy. This is Joe Burrow.
Well, Wentz has done nothing to keep that job.
I was going to say, yeah, that's very fair. Wentz is also not Joe Flacco.
He
threw for over 300 yards, but he threw 2 picks and no touchdowns.
He had a good game in London.
I mean, he has
defense.
He has equally good receivers to throw to.
He does. He does have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison
and T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah, I would definitely throw them up there. Jalen Naylor.
I wouldn't call it better. T. Higgins
not better. He said equally, and if it's not equally
is good.
If it's not equally, it's not a significant fall off.
No, I mean, I would argue that the collective of weapons is better in Minnesota than it is.
I don't think T.J. Hawkinson is that good anymore.
I was just going to say Hawkinson has this misconception of like being this dog tight end. And I'm not saying that he's completely washed, but like there's just something about him that he just, this is a guy who's supposed to be like tight end 1 in fantasy. And he's just not that anymore. And you can blame it on the quarterback.
No, it's the George Kittle effect. He's too damn good at blocking. He's a great receiving tight end, but he's too damn good at blocking.
I think that's disrespect to George Kittle.
Well, he's not as good as George Kittle, but he is the same archetype. I mean, that's why Detroit drafted him. They love to run the football. And now he's in Minnesota.
Like, he was really good with the Lions. He was also their only option to throw to. And then he got hurt, and he got hurt again, and you might have just lost a step, and he's not the only option anymore. So he's not bad, but I don't think he's elite-ish. Like, I don't think the drop-off between him and Noah Fant is that large.
Yes.
As a receiver. And that's what we're talking about here.
I disagree with that. Noah Fant does not reach that level for me.
He's fast. Gets open when he needs to.
No.
Iowa tight end you.
Not doing it for me.
If only they could get quarterbacks.
You got another one for me? No offense, just not going to cut it.
Wait, what's the comparison? I'll give you a good one.
Well, I'm just going Bengals tight end.
I'm saying comparing T.J. Hawkinson to another tight end, I guess.
Oh, any tight end?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's as good as George Kittle, but he's not not that far from him comparative to the rest of the
I think
league.
he's a good tight end. I don't think he's an elite tight end, but he's a good tight end to have. He works in that offense.
Hawkinson or Dallas Goedert?
Same kind of guys, honestly.
I think they're even. Same tier.
kind of guys, yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
I'll take Theo Johnson.
All right, that's enough of that. It is National Tight Ends Day on Sunday, by the way, so a good conversation to have. A lot of people are going to be dialing up the tight end parlays, I'm sure.
You got
to. Speaking of another tight end, who's been in the league a while, Zach Ertz will be playing on Monday against the Chiefs. And maybe a sneaky guy to take props on because with Jaden Daniels ruled out, he could be the safety blanket in a team that's probably going to have to pass the ball as the Chiefs offense is back to 100%. Rashee Rice looked electric on Sunday, only 43 yards receiving, but the targets were there, the touchdowns. I think, Zach Ertz coming off a National Tight End Day could have a big, maybe receptions, maybe gets in the end zone. I don't know how they score, but
I'd just be scared that the Commanders won't be able to do anything.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. The morale in that locker room's got to be very low.
Very low. I'm flipping out. I had Packers defense in. As soon as I saw Jaden Daniels out, I'm starting Chiefs defense in our high school league, Brian. I have to.
Yeah.
Why would I start Packers defense and when I have the Chiefs?
Aaron Rodgers is going to score a few touchdowns that he's not supposed to because it's the revenge.
Well, I was worried about Jaden Daniels maybe, coming off being out, them getting embarrassed, doing some crazy things. But him being out now, I have to start the Chiefs defense, which has been pretty electric, by the way, and I think it's overshadowed because of Mahomes.
The defense has been the highlight of that team for the past few years. So, there's no doubt that they're a good crew. Trent McDuffie makes the passing game hard. Chris Jones makes everything hard. So, they're going to pause. Yeah, fucking pause. Jesus.
That was crazy.
I'm going to take
a lap.
I need a lap after that one.
The Ertz play on National Tight End Day could be.
Well, it'll be the day after, right? Because aren't they Monday Night Football?
Oh, yeah. Well,
it still counts because it's the same week.
Yeah, National Tight End weekend. Well, Monday.
It kind of counts.
Long weekend.
It counts.
Let's get some big numbers for the tight ends. Big bets.
Yeah. I think last year people hit crazy tight end day bets.
I think Noah Fant had 2 touchdowns on.
Yeah, I think the coaches are aware of this and they get the tight ends involved. I'd be very interested. They're very interested in the nonsense 1:00 games. Like, who are the Panthers playing? Who are the Bucks playing?
Bills.
Cade Otton, Dalton Kincaid. Guys, it's gonna be a big weekend.
Hopefully Dalton Kincaid is healthy.
Kincaid kind of gets the shine. Give it to Knox.
Cade Otton touchdown.
Will Kyle Pitts get a touchdown?
I think he's the guy. It wasn't Fan. It was Cade Otton had 2 on National Tight End Day last year.
You love it.
Kyle Pitts, I also like.
Kyle Pitts. Let's give out a 4-teamer real quick. Cade Otton, Kyle Pitts.
I like Knox, but you like Kincaid.
No, I don't. I just was throwing.
Tucker Kraft and Tyler Warren would be my first 2.
Yeah, that's so
but they're gonna be like normal, like touchdown odds.
Yeah, you want like the plus 800. Like, give me a Mike Gesicki on the Bengals.
I like that.
You love that, Brian. Oh yeah.
And then how about Pat Freiermuth on Sunday Night Football? Johnny's been getting all the love.
Freiermuth, Gesicki, Cade Otton, and Kincaid. Oh, that's giving me goosebumps.
Heard it here first.
That's how I'm not going with that one.
It's weird enough.
I'll give you a different one.
It's weird enough.
Warren, Kraft, Darren Waller.
He's on IR.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. So he will.
Dude, that shows you how checked in I am
Most definitely not.
to Dolphin football.
Checked it enough to give it out on a parlay.
I
Wow.
saw him in
I'll
a
take
big
Charles
game the
Clay
other
to score a
day.
touchdown at this point.
What happened to him?
Waller or Charles Clay?
I don't give a fuck about Charles Clay.
Some injury.
He's Darren Waller. That's what happened.
Yeah. He is on the IR, though. I'm not fucking with you.
They're a bunch
All right,
of
well-
bumps anyway.
Well, maybe
Give me
Darren Waller.
Hunter Henry to have a nice game.
I like
Oh,
that.
now you're just losing it, dude. Now you're just throwing darts and hoping it sticks.
And last but not least, give me the rookie in Los Angeles with the Chargers.
Gaston.
Or Rondé Gadsden.
No Higbee? Higbee's a sneaky one.
Well, they had
I
actually
love that one,
the
dude.
Rams
kinda
had
do.
another tight end pop off against us.
Parkinson.
Yeah, Colby Parkinson.
Yeah, I think it was Madden 23. He was one of the bronze starter team guys. It's the only reason I remember him. But tight ends will be winners on Sunday. But who were the winners and losers of last week? Jack, we'll start with your winner.
Yeah, I'm going with some Hall of Famers because there's some more Hall of Fame candidates that got pushed through the voting. And I wanted to actually ask you guys about who you guys would induct out of the first ballot Hall of Fame, or excuse me, first time eligible players. They're not actually inducted yet. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Frank Gore, LaShawn McCoy, Larry Fitz, Greg Olsen, Jason Witten, and Marquise Pouncey. Give me 3 of those guys.
Drew Brees, Larry Fitz, Marquise Pouncey.
Valid.
What was the 3?
Drew Brees. He went with Drew Brees, Greg Olsen.
Right, what was
No,
the
Larry
question
Fitz.
again?
Larry
What was the
Fitz.
question again?
Give me 3 of these guys out of the first time inductees into the Hall of Fame. First time eligible players. It's Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Frank Gore, LaShawn McCoy, Larry Fitz, Olsen, Witten, and Marquise Pouncey.
Breeze, Rivers, and I don't know who the third is.
You're not going to go with your guy? He's not going to get in, but
Who?
Shady.
I'll give him third.
I absolutely despise the Phillip Rivers call, but I'll go Drew Brees
I played 20,000 years.
and didn't win a
It
playoff
was
game.
Eli Manning without the Super Bowl.
Sucked.
He was Eli Manning without the Super Bowl. I mean, he had the stats. And he was not Eli Manning without the Super Bowl because his overall record had to be better than a career 500 record for Eli Manning.
Regular season record, sure. But they're very comparable, and you take if the
Yeah.
guy with the 2 Super Bowls didn't get in, I don't think you could put Rivers in.
No doubt. And, Manning's still eligible. So,
I don't
He
know.
might get
That
in.
was too much of a list. Too much of a list to remember every single name. Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers sounded the best as Jack was ranting them off.
Frank Gore will probably get an
Like
event.
10 guys there, Brian. You
they're
remember
only, they're only eight
Probably.
names.
Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Frank Gore, Jason Witten, Marquise Pouncey, Larry Fitzgerald, and Greg Olsen.
And one more
LaShawn
running
McCoy?
back. And LaShawn
Your
McCoy.
memory is better than mine.
It was like 30 seconds ago.
Dude, okay. I said my guys who I want in.
All right.
All right. You
Let's move on.
want to go with your winner of the week?
Yeah, my winner of the week, as always presented by SeatGeek, will go with an interesting one here. The Philadelphia Union. You know what? Hell yeah.
Did they win the Commissioner's Trophy?
They won the Supporters Shield as the best team in Major League Soccer. They are 4 wins away from me adding a championship to my running count.
No.
Bro, I wish I
Is the
was
Commissioner's
that cared.
Trophy hockey, and then the Supporters
Yes,
Shield
the
is
Supporters Shield is MLS. It's for the best. So they have 2 conferences in the MLS. the top
Commissioner's Trophy
team
baseball.
out of both. The Commissioner's Trophy might be the World Series, right?
I think it's baseball. What's the hockey one?
I don't know, man. Doesn't matter. The Supporter Shield is MLS top team in at the whole league, both conferences. Playoffs run through Philly. They go for glory. I think it starts Sunday night is game one for the Union.
I will not be watching.
What's your winner of the week, Brian?
Nothing to say about soccer.
I'm sorry, but actually, I'm not sorry. I don't care about the MLS.
It's fine. I don't think Charleston has an MLS team, so that's completely valid.
Yeah, we've got the Charleston Battery. I don't know what soccer league.
NWSL.
I was gonna say, is that the women's league?
No, there's maybe actually. I don't know.
No,
I'm pretty sure it's dudes. Charleston Battery? Is that a dude soccer team? Yeah, it's a dude soccer team.
Maybe it's
the USL. Is that the championship
United
for the
Soccer
MLS?
League.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, shout out to Charleston Battery. Also shout out Kelly and Nicole using our SeatGeek code Views for 400 at checkout for $20 off their order for tickets to the Auburn game. Sorry the game ended so poorly. But my winner of the week will be basketball. The NBA might have finally done something right here. It was a great night of basketball on the cock. Mike Tirico on the call. Did great with Reggie Miller. Jamal Crawford was making analyst plays, I guess. Noah Eagle. 2 good basketball games. We got double overtime. The little score bug shook when they dunked the basketball. It was fun. It was a fun night of basketball.
Good opening night.
Good opening night. Although the refs did, of course, get into the action. A couple of suspect calls to end the Rockets and Thunder game. And then Kevin Durant, the worst of them all, Kevin Durant trying to call timeout, pull a Chris Webber when they didn't have any timeouts. And the ref didn't see it, so it went to overtime instead of the Thunder getting free throws.
Better that they didn't see that. You would hate for it to end that way.
Yeah, especially in his homecoming.
The refs will always ref.
Also, Jabari Smith missing the game winner kind of hurt. Although I did have Thunder money line, so it was a good sacrifice.
I only watched highlights, but good competitive game, obviously, going into OT. And look, there are going to be 2 very competitive teams, probably meet up again down the stretch in the playoffs. So I'll honestly be waiting to see that. That'll be a lot of fun. Playoff basketball is a lot of fun. I know I'm talking about playoffs, first games of the season, but these are 2 teams that will be there in the end.
Yeah, that's kind of what you think about with the NBA is just get me to the playoffs. But at least, like, I'm so used to these ESPN half-assed broadcasts, and NBC, they do it every week with Sunday Night Football. It felt like a big game. I know it was the first one, but just their production, having MJ at halftime, actual commentators that care about the sport, it felt like a big game. And TNT did a little of that too, but NBC's NBC.
Yeah, I mean, TNT definitely, their production was the best we had before NBC came back in the mix. The problem is ESPN, like the halftime, I guess Mike Breen was fine, but it just never felt. They had the NBA Finals for crying out loud, and it didn't feel like a big game or a big final. Yeah. So it's just is indictment the right word? Is that an indictment on ESPN sucking?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's our underlying issue here is ESPN needs to stick to just SportsCenter, and that's it.
And well, I did see that they're coming back with the half court. This could have been my winner of the week, but they're coming back with the half court logo with the Larry Bird trophy on it, and championship trophy. They're coming back with that for the finals this year. Never should have left. So I'm pumped for that. That makes it feel like a championship game.
Yeah, and then they tried to do like the hologrammed one last year when people got mad. But yeah, I totally agree. It's gonna make it feel better.
Too little, too late.
Too little, too late. Jack, your loser.
Yeah, actually, my loser of the week is Hugh Freeze.
I wonder why.
I'm so done with that, man. It's unbelievable. It's just, I mean, you just go look up the records. It's so bad. He can't win an SEC game to save his life. I feel so bad for the current students there. But the main reason why he's going to be my loser of the week is he came out and asked the Auburn AD for a vote of confidence.
The audacity, dude. Ugh.
Hey, I'm not getting fired, right? You guys have faith in me. You're backing me, right? I know this hasn't been a great season, but I'm coming back next season, right? No, we want you gone.
Yeah, I think his last name's Cohen, which, I mean, the Cohens aren't treating me very well in my sports teams, but if he hasn't made the call to the North Texas head coach yet, he needs to be relieved of his duties too. They just need to get some young blood in there and do something. But Hugh Freeze, the audacity to do that after another just pitiful performance when you're supposed to be this offensive guru that can't move the ball in overtime, and you got to rely on a kicker that can't eat food without yakking it all up and walks around with a bag of electrolytes next to it.
Come on, don't put this on McPherson.
No, it's not on him. It's on Hugh Freeze for not being able to score touchdowns with an offensive with a 5-star quarterback, 2 5-star receivers, and an offensive line that was supposed to be one of the best in the SEC.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not absolving Jackson Arnold of all of his I know, right? Of all of his wrongdoings, but I'm definitely out on Hugh Freeze. He's my loser of the week. He's been my loser of the season. I'm out on him.
Does Hugh Freeze have the same energy that Kyle Neptune had?
No, Neptune just felt like it'll be fine. He's had a lot of Mendoza vibes to him, where it's like, we'll be fine. Freeze is just an eccentric asshole.
Yeah, that's also like why I'm out on him. He's not a likable guy.
Yeah,
I really
wasn't really a likable guy either.
I really have never, at no point was I like, yeah, Hugh Freeze, like, this is the guy I want to be coaching my team. Like, there's nobody else I'd rather want, that kind of vibe. This is my guy. Never felt that with him. Just continuously does things that shows that he's honestly just out of touch. And that's exactly what this call to the AED is. Give me a vote of confidence. No.
Yeah, thank goodness for DJ Jarkin, or this program we'd be where Vanderbilt was for the last 20 years, where it's just absolute shit. They're pretty close, but at least they're not absolute. The defense is great. Matt, you're a loser of the week.
Yeah, I tried to throw some baseball in there because that season is still going on. Sports Equinox coming up this Sunday, by the way, for anybody who was curious about that. But it will be the Mariners bullpen 8 outs away from a World Series berth. They're doing everything they can to just try and scrape their way through a Game 7 and get it done. Let up a gut-wrenching 3-run home run. Jose Bautista-like, probably worse. That ultimately ends up losing them the game and throws an incredible season for the Seattle Mariners. Cal Raleigh, 65 home runs, including postseason play. Down the drain. Feels like a waste. I know it wasn't. It's a great season, but what a tough way to go out.
And not only do you give up that home run to Springer that, obviously was the go-ahead run, but that last at-bat, those last 3 outs for the Mariners were gut-wrenching for fans. I mean, you have your leadoff guy, what's his name, Jorge Rodriguez?
Julio
Rodriguez. I mean, he had himself a nice game, 2 for 4, but he gets ahead on a 2-0 count and then swings out a ball in the dirt. I was so mad watching that just as a baseball fan, as a baseball purist. You want to take that pitch. You hope he throws you a ball. You're the last out. And guess who's on deck? Cal Raleigh, the dude who's just been, rightfully so, glazed this year. Pause. But that's who's on deck. And you're swinging out a 2-0 pitch in the dirt. And then he ended up, I think, K'ing. But just a terrible, terrible at-bat. I had faith. I was like, Cal Raleigh's on deck, 2-0 count. Like, saw the pitch coming in. It just just tough, gut-wrenching for Seattle. And gut-wrenching for me and Matt and I, because we really could have had them. We really could have had our Pacific Northwest team crash on Brian's parade.
Yeah, I mean, Brian has the Japanese wall of the LA Dodgers there to protect him as usual, but I don't see any of those two teams, regardless of who won, defeating the Dodgers. I think that'll be pretty quick work. I know that the Blue Jays have the momentum mixed in with the Dodgers having a lot of time off, but it over the span of a 7-game series, and that's why, I think we were talking about it, but it's not like you can catch the Dodgers in a quick game and boom, they're eliminated. It's like you have to string together 4 wins, and I don't know what any team that's able to string together a series to win the series. The Dodgers are too good.
Yeah, George Springer is a Dodger killer, and that home run, by the way, second ever in the 8th inning or later in a winner-go-home game in the playoffs. The first one happened last year. Bet you guys remember that one.
I do.
Nothing? You do?
Wasn't that Mark Vientos?
Same team, Pete Alonso. Vientos didn't win it. He had one, but it wasn't the winner-go-home. Alonso did it in Milwaukee, but Springer has killed the Dodgers in the past. I know it's a completely different team, but I want to believe in the Blue Jays. I think you said it, Matt, when we previewed kind of the World Series when this series was still going on. The Blue Jays have a better shot than the Mariners would have. I think that's true, but the Dodgers are so good.
Yeah, it didn't matter for me if it was the Mariners or the Blue Jays. It's tough to pick against the Dodgers for what they'll be able to throw at whoever comes against them. Yeah, I just hate that like Dave Roberts gets kind of highlighted as this, world-renowned best manager of baseball type guy, and it's like he's not.
Yeah, you put Gabe Kepler on that team, and he's the best manager ever.
Yeah, so it's so annoying because he plays up to it too, and kind of walks around like that I'm better than everybody attitude, and like they are the best team, but it's just like, come on, man, like. Is it be more humble about it? I don't know, but it's just like, dude, like you were doing
self-aware.
Nothing. Yeah, like be like, dude, you're like pulling, like, I don't know. It's frustrating, and it's just he adds insult to injury.
Yeah, the whole team lacks, and their fans lack self-awareness. Like after they won the Ohtani game, Mookie Betts was like, yeah, he's Michael Jordan and we're the Bulls. No, he's Michael Jordan and you're the rest of the 92 Dream Team. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, dude, because it's
like Mookie, you literally won an MVP, dude.
It's dude, they have the lineup top to bottom, the pitching staff is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if it's going to fuel up a salary cap. I don't know how it can, but it's
going to ruin baseball in 2027.
At least put some kind of like, hey man, we can't like give guys $1 billion contracts and pay them off in 40 years.
It's terrible.
Which, by the way, apparently the Dodgers recouped that $700 million Ohtani contract this year alone, and they haven't even paid him yet.
Yep,
or paid him $2 million.
It's a disaster. It's terrible. I'll stay in LA for my loser of the week. It's going to be LeBron James. He's not because he's out with injury, but because he made Russell Westbrook look like a sane person. There was a story that came out. I forget if it was The Ringer or The Athletic, but Russ basically said he couldn't stand LeBron James when they were teammates because he was a phony, and he was just inauthentic. He said like Will Smith came for a team dinner once, and LeBron and AD left the room making fun of him. They're like, why are we about to talk to Will Smith? Came in 5 minutes later and acted like they were the best friends with him, wouldn't let Russ or any of their teammates get in a word. He said he walks around with Malcolm X's autobiography, hasn't read a page, which like fans picked up on that too. And just a lot of phony stuff. And Russell Westbrook just kind of emptied the clip on LeBron James.
Damn. Drama in Cancun.
Yeah, and Russ, it's not really a rivalry because the Kings are the Kings, but he's down there in California now. I think they're the same division. Divisions also don't matter in the NBA, but
At all.
Probably the
here
same.
they'll see each other a couple times this year, and LeBron's probably not going to be happy about it.
Wow.
I mean, is
And
LeBron going to play?
They had a short stint together, playing together. So I could see that there's some animosity there. That Russ did not do too well. He did not last too long.
No, and yeah, another bullet point in the story was LeBron publicly said, "Let Russ be Russ," but behind the scenes he like hated him and told him not to shoot the ball and a bunch of stuff.
Well, I think that's kind of fair.
Yeah, which also that's a little fair. But who knew?
You gotta go to bat for your teammates in the public, but behind closed doors, you got to keep it real and do what wins games. And Russell Westbrook shooting the basketball does not win games.
No, yeah, but I think the wrongdoing was Russ is like, well, even behind closed doors, he's a phony with other stuff. So why would anything he says to me about basketball mean anything? Which is also fair.
Kind of, you need to separate that and be a professional, but.
Yeah, well, they've both made a lot of money, so maybe they're doing fine.
Right. Like, what does it matter now, dude? It's like, if this was like year 10 or like year 5 of their career, it'd be way better. But it's like, all right, here's LeBron, who we don't know if he's going to play because he has an illness that you get when you're in your 40s. And Russell Westbrook's on a veteran minimum, and maybe we'll get 15 minutes a game. And we're going to like highlight this beef because of what we're thinking of the name, but it's I don't know. I'm not getting worked up about that. No.
Russell Westbrook to Dylan Cardwell lobs this year in Sacramento are going to be great.
I hope I see a couple.
That's literally going to be tune in for the last minute and a half of the second quarter and the first 2 minutes of or the middle of the third quarter. You got about 4 minutes of game time.
Maybe the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter when they're down by 25.
When they're down by 40. Yeah, that's when you're going to get that.
And I'm ready for it.
Am I wrong? That's genuinely when that's going to happen.
I mean, who do the Kings even have? I don't even know who's on that team anymore.
They got Levine still, DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, okay, yeah, Levine, DeRozan, and who's that other white center that's pretty good? Sabonis,
yeah.
Sabonis, that's right.
Yeah, they got a squad.
No, yeah, they're competitive.
But yeah, NBA. Also look out. I'm gonna post an NBA futures article on the website, so look out for that later today as you're watching this.
Yep, and we got to get that out soon though, Brian, because the sneaky teams that I have are going to start out hot, and then people are going to say they're not going to buy it, and they forget about.
We won't let them forget.
Last year, 1280 to make the playoffs. Who would have thought?
Yeah, we've been hitting on the. We always shit on the NBA, but we
shit on the NBA. No, I'm embracing it this year. I know I rip on the NBA, and maybe it is. NBC helped out because that really was a nice broadcast by them last night. But we rip on the NBA, but my knowledge of like kind of predicting things always seems to be and maybe it's because we're college basketball nuts.
I think that might be what it is. Yeah.
So it helps a little bit, but like it's easy for us to read the game and see stuff, and we don't really have a crazy affiliation other than my Sixers delusion that's going to set back in here momentarily as they take on the Celtics tonight. But yeah, it is kind of nuts how we rip on it, but we're pretty sharp on the trends.
I mean, the last 2 years, our big teams were the Thunder and the Rockets, and they've both been resurgently great. But let's get back to the NFL here and do some confidence picks, shall we?
Oh yeah.
Matt, like you extended your lead.
I absolutely cooked last week. I know I did.
Yeah, you got 3 wrong. I got 4 wrong.
My week started out terrible after that Thursday night game. Took a Hail Mary shot, and Aaron Rodgers just couldn't complete it.
It's what you had to do. If anything, you should have just – Brian and I already picked the Bengals. You should have just put that as your 15 Bengals to win, because Brian and I only had it as our least. So, and then if it lost, you wouldn't have really been hit. But I know what you're trying to do. You're trying, like, I don't know. I'm not going to give you riddles and rhymes on how to make this comeback.
Yeah, I'm also not going to do the math to figure that out.
Well, it's just be great and check at the end of the year. That's how I would approach it.
All right.
Did we get percentages on our picks
You did
yet?
not.
No chance.
Still a work in progress.
Talk about be great. I want to know who's actually the great.
All right, we're back.
Holy cook.
Yeah, Matt had a big week. I lost for the Falcons, really. Jack, if you didn't put the Steelers so high, you would have cooked.
Yeah, it is what it is. Disappointed by the Steelers and the Texans. I don't know why I ever thought to bet on the Texans, but yeah, disappointed by those two teams the most.
I'm so glad. Oh my God, Dominic Barlow's starting. Good grief. I'm so glad I didn't. I'm glad I'm done with the Chargers narrative, man. I think we need to throw the Jim Harbaugh is great, and maybe he is, but the Chargers are banged up, and I feel like an idiot putting them at 10 last week. Huge bounce back spot for them. I really, 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 really thought they're going to make something happen.
Yeah, they might just stink.
They might just stink, dude. I think is a great way to put it.
But let's get into this week's picks.
Cali.
All right, as the leader in the clubhouse, I will kick us off for Week 8. Damn, this season's flying by. Week 8 of the NFL Confidence Picks. I will kick us off here with the Indianapolis Colts over the Titans. The Chiefs take down the Commanders on Monday night. Falcons over Dolphins. Bills over the Panthers. Sneaky Carolina Panthers, but I gotta think the Bills get it done. Eagles over the Giants. Kelly Green's revenge spot. Give me all the glory. Bengals over the Jets. Hapless Jets. Bucks over the Saints. Patriots over the Browns. Ravens over the Bears. Lamar Jackson expected back this week. Broncos over the Cowboys. Niners to defeat the Texans. Chargers, I just said how I'm done taking them. Chargers over the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. And the Steelers shock the world. Take down the Green Bay Packers in Aaron Rodgers' first game against Green Bay. Is that correct?
I think it might be the first game back in Lambeau.
I think it's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, is it in Pittsburgh?
Did he play the Jets? Or when he was on the Jets, did he play the Packers?
I don't think he did. The game is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think that's why I picked Pittsburgh. Coming off a loss at home.
Sorry, I want to find if they played Packers. The Jets did not play the Packers, so first game back against the Packers. I guess I'll go second since I'm in second place here. I will take the Colts over the Titans, although I really think this might be a weird game where the Titans win. Bills over the Panthers, Falcons over the Dolphins, Bengals over the Jets. Really need the Bengals this week. Ravens over the Bears. Lamar Jackson back and playing. Big news for both Matt and I's fantasy teams. Eagles over the Giants, unfortunately. Chiefs over Commanders. Chargers over the Vikings. This is the Chargers' last chance. 49ers over the Texans. Bucks over the Saints. Another divisional game I'm kind of worried about. Browns over the Patriots. Packers over the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, no. And the Broncos over the Cowboys as my least confident pick.
Wait, what'd you say was huge? I got just a little bit too into it. I was jamming out to the music. What'd you say was huge for fantasy?
Lamar Jackson is back.
Oh, massive.
He's at least back practicing. Hopefully that means
he's back practicing, and I found a little bit of a lightning in a bottle with Sam Darnold coming in and really doing a nice job.
Yeah, you did. And That was a great waiver wire pickup. Actually did the same exact thing, and I just traded Sam Darnold for 30 fab. I got Lamar Jackson back.
Well, yeah, it's he's been a very nice bright spot to lean on. I like the way the team's looking, Brian. 4-3. Rashee Rice back. This is exactly how I picked it out. This is what I said on draft day. I need to stay afloat until Rice comes back. See what happens.
Hopefully, I found out my quarterback situation with Dart, and we can get a good old timer finals this year.
Yeah, dude. When it comes to like quarterbacks in fantasy, it's so frustrating when like that's the position you have to try and figure out mid-year. At all the positions, it's like the quarterback. Oh my gosh, he got hurt, or you just having to figure out that because there's always a position you have to figure out in fantasy, right? Not to turn this into a fantasy conversation, but I think it's important to note, like, out of all the positions, when you have to figure out the quarterback, it's excruciating, man. Brutal stuff. So that's kind of been you with the Justin Fields disaster that you've been enduring.
Yeah, hey, I'm 3-4, and I've been getting like 8 points a week out of my quarterback spot. So hopefully,
pick
Dart
up
can stabilize.
Pick up Joe Flacco. Where you have Jackson Dart?
Yeah, and he's been in a couple times, but
Brian has been.
I was gonna say Jackson Dart.
He's the quarterback of the future for my fantasy team. He's
Over the past 4 weeks has been like a top 5, top 10 option.
The issue is I've sat him twice because Justin Fields has great matchups.
It's been the Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence show.
Look, as far as fantasy goes, I can't deny Jackson Dart is the move.
P-Law has not been the law in fantasy.
No, he is not. We've been the Jags have been running the football well, and the Trevor Lawrence has struggled a little bit. So, but Brian, I like your list here. The only game that I have different from you, obviously things are in different orders, but the only game I have different from yours is the Browns over the Patriots. You think the Brownies get this one done against Drake May and the pass?
Feels like people are ready to crown the Patriots as true contenders, and I think Myles Garrett and that Browns defense can really give May problems enough to where this could be a win that kind of gets me some points.
I like it. That's an interesting play. I'm going to have faith in the Patriots. They're not too high on my list, but they're high enough at 9. So without further ado, I'm taking the Falcons over the Finns, the Colts over the Titans, Chiefs over the Commies. No Jaden Daniels in that one. They are going to struggle. Bucks over the Saints, Patriots over the Browns, Chargers over the Vikings. Chargers have been struggling a little bit, but I just think they have too much offense for the Vikings to work with. Eagles over the Giants. They're going to bounce back and get this one. No way they get swept by the Giants. No way. Bills over the Panthers. I would love to have had this one a lot higher on my list, but the Bills have been struggling lately. Hopefully they get right coming out of the bye. Broncos over the Cowboys. Bengals over the Jets. The Niners over the Texans. The Ravens over the Bears. It's my second least confident pick. Lamar Jackson's status is still up in the air. I know he wasn't practicing early this week. Hopefully that turns around tomorrow, Thursday.
Practice today.
Did he?
Yeah.
Limited still?
Limited
obviously.
Still, he's going to play.
I would hope so. And you never know with those hamstrings, as you were saying earlier. It only takes one tweak, and we're going backwards to Cooper Rush. And then last but not least, I'm going to take the Packers over the Steelers. Definitely think that Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers could come back off the loss and get this one done. But, man, they're just so inconsistent. I can't bet on them.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that at all. Both those teams, just very weird seasons so far. Should be a fun game because I honestly have no idea who's going to win.
Well, if we're being honest, it's probably the only game of this weekend I'm looking forward to. I almost made this weekend, this NFL. I mean, that's for you guys, whatever. But this is probably the only game I like on this slate, honestly, with the bye weeks that are week 8, bye-mageddon. Got half the teams in the league on a bye this week, my Jags included. I think Packers-Steelers is really the only one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I don't know what better matchups could be made out of these teams, but we always talk about the NFL being so good at scheduling. It's a tough week.
It's a tough week, and they happen. They happen. So, if we got to bite the bullet one week, it's okay. But no, I mean, you could have definitely switched some of these around. I mean, we'll get some of these other matchups later in the season, I'm sure. But always good to see a Bills Patriots game. Maybe the Bucks and the Falcons. Love to see that. I mean, the Dolphins. Who cares to see the Dolphins and the Saints play right now?
Well, I've turned unofficially, but always ask this question at the end of the confidence pick. So it's a segment without being a segment. Whose sink or swim week is it, right? I always ask the question. The team's either going to propel forward or this is where they pack it in. What game this week would you call it a must-win? Save the season week? I look at the Ravens versus the Bears as one-eyed circle.
I think Thursday Night Football, Chargers-Vikings.
Thursday Night Football's a really good one. That's a really good answer.
I think either one of them must-win game. But, I mean, I'm definitely going with where you went first, the Ravens. I mean, if you get Lamar back this week and can't get a win, just pack it in.
Yeah, and then it doesn't have to be limited to one. I look at the Broncos and the Cowboys. Both of their seasons would propel nicely with a win on either side there.
Might have to disagree with that one. I think the Broncos are already sitting pretty with where they are. They're a good football team, and I have a good feeling they will be a wild card team. I don't think there's a shot, regardless of what happens in this game, that they have a shot at winning the division over the Chiefs. And alternatively, the Cowboys, they're just not a playoff team, even if they win this game.
They could be, dude. The NFC is not good at the back end.
NFC's not that good, and as much as it pains me to say, I think the Cowboys do have the best offense, at least in terms of points for.
In the league?
They lead the league.
Dak
they
is
do.
an MVP candidate.
Dak is playing great football.
They have the best offense, but they have the worst defense.
Yeah, they're the Bengals.
Sal Javonte Williams has revived his career. Just always has the ball in his hands.
I mean, he's looked great. Dak has looked great. George Pickens is having a career here. They're getting CeeDee Lamb back, and he had himself a great first game back last week. So, yeah, I mean, their offense is definitely legit. There's no doubt about that. And I know, Matt, it's 2025 and offense wins championships, but a defense gets you to a playoffs. I don't think that they can do it. I really don't.
Team could really use a great edge rusher right now.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm a big offense guy.
I think that wraps it up.
I think that's where we got to end it. I mean, I think we're all big offense guys. Big Fox cameras, all the offense guys.
The dome, Fox cameras, the whole 9 yards, dude. It really does play into locking in those bets on Sunday.
Just nothing like Ford Field.
Nothing like it. Get it away from ESPN. I really thought that game was going to be in Tampa Bay on Monday.
Do any college teams play in a dome other than North Dakota State?
Syracuse.
Other than Syracuse? Like any big time. I guess North Dakota State is big time for their respective division. But, like, you got to think,
UNLV?
like, there's no Big 12. There's no SEC. It's an interesting concept and conversation.
I mean, Georgia gets to play half their games in Mercedes-Benz.
That's also true.
I know that at the end of the year, it all turns into that. But I don't know. Interesting comment. There's no, like, is that the future? Maybe. I don't know. But there's no, like, SEC in a dome all year, big-time college.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Syracuse and UNLV are the two biggest schools.
Yeah. And then North Dakota State for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, they have won insane amount of championships the last 10 years, regardless of if you think they count or not.
You kind of have to build a dome out there.
You
It's always
do.
snowing.
Also, VJ Edgecom, bold prediction, isn't that bold after the first 7 minutes I've watched of this game, will be in the slam dunk contest in February.
Oh, for sure.
Holy smokes. This guy's throwing it down over 7-footers.
He needs to give some of that leap to Janai Broom.
I
For
think
real.
that's fair. I don't even know if he'll get action tonight, but we'll see.
He'll get action soon enough. Embiid will manage his load. Pause.
Good way to end it there.
All right. We will be back on schedule next week. So we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Peace.